A very good morning to all my lovely students. Subject English, Standard 3. Topic Adjectives. Children, we have studied about nouns. You remember, nouns are names. Names of people, places, animals, and things. Now, many times when we use nouns, like say for example, let us take names of people. Now what do you see in the picture? You see a lady. Now suppose I ask you, how is this lady? You may have many answers. A young lady, a pretty lady, a smart lady, a clever lady. Yes or no? Right? Now let us take one example here. She is a smart lady. This is how you tell about the lady. You describe the lady by saying she's smart, she's clever, she's pretty, she's nice, she's kind, she's good looking. Now let's take another example of a naming word for people. Here you have many people. This is a family. Now, what kind of family is it? How will you describe this family? Or even it may be even your family. How will you describe it? You will say it's a big family, a small family, or a happy family. You say it is a happy family. Again, the word happy is used to describe the family. Now, let's take another word. Here you see a man. Now, what comes to your mind when you see him? What kind of a man is he? He is a old man. What will you say? This gentleman, it may be your grandfather, is an old man. The word old is used to describe the man, the person. Here you see another man, another person. How will you describe him? What will you use to describe this person? You may say he's a smart man, he's a young man, he's a strong man, he's a clever man, he's a tall man, he's a short man. So many words used to describe the same person. You may use as many words to describe the person. Now we have a nurse here. How is this nurse? What will you use? What words will you use to describe the nurse? She's a clever nurse. She's a kind nurse. She's a pretty nurse. She's a young nurse. She's an old nurse. You have so many words again to describe the nurse. She's a clever nurse. Here we are just using one example. Now let's go to places. Nouns are also names of places. Now what place do you see in this picture here? Yes, it is an airport. Now what words will you describe? What kind of an airport is it? It's a big airport. It's a small airport. It's a clean airport. It is a busy airport. Yes or no? Now we give names to these places also to describe the places. Here we have used the word big to describe the airport. Let's go on to another place now. This is something that you love going to. This place You love going to these places, right? This is a park. Now, how will you describe the park? A nice park, a lovely park, a clean park. It's clean, isn't it? Huh? A clean park. Sometimes when people throw things and all in the park, it becomes a dirty park. So these things, the word clean is used to describe the place here. Let's go on and see this house carefully. What kind of a house is it? Yes, you remember that little boy's lesson in Go and Come. How is that house? A pretty house, a lovely cottage. Pretty and lovely have the same meaning. A pretty house. This is a pretty house. The word pretty is used to describe the house here. This is a seashore, a beach. Look at the beautiful sand and the sea and the lovely trees all around. What word comes to your mind when you see this beach? Yes, a lovely beach. It's a lovely beach, a clean beach, a wonderful beach. Yes or no? Right. So we give words like this: lovely, wonderful, fantastic, clean, dirty, to describe people, places, and sometimes even animals. Now look at this butterfly. What word comes to your mind when you see it? A pretty butterfly, a lovely butterfly, and also a colorful butterfly. Butterfly is so pretty and colorful. Here we have Mr. Jumbo. What do you see? What do you feel like when you see the elephant? How will you describe? It is huge. Sometimes in the circus you find elephants which are huge, but they are also friendly. So you can say he's a friendly elephant. He's a huge elephant. Sometimes they are playful, naughty, playful elephant. So these words are used to describe not just people and places, but even animals. Let's move on to the next one. This is Mr. Fox. Now you have learnt in idioms. How will you describe the fox? He looks cunning. The sly fox or the cunning fox. Okay, you see in all the stories that you have learned, the fox is always out to cheat people, cheat other animals. So that is why the fox is called sly or cunning. So here the word cunning is used to describe the fox, what you call shana in Hindi. Cunning. Okay. Now here we have a snake. It's a green snake. It's a long snake. It's a small snake. It's a big snake. So there are many words again to describe the same noun. Now the noun is the same, snake. It's a name of an animal. But here we have used many words: long, small, green. Okay, all these to describe the same snake. Let's move on to Mr. Lion. Mr. Lion looks really dangerous, doesn't he? So, what did you learn when you learned idioms? How did you describe the lion in the idioms? You said as brave as a lion. The lion is brave, fearless. The lion is also dangerous, something the animals are afraid of. So we call him a ferocious lion. A ferocious animal is something which is dangerous, people and others are afraid of. Ferocious. Now, moving on to things. A noun is also a person, a place, animal, which we have discussed now, and it is also the name of a thing. Naming words are also names of things. Now, what is this thing that you see in this picture? The man is carrying a bag. How does that bag look? It's brown, yes. It is heavy. He cannot carry it. It is very heavy. So, we use the word heavy to describe the bag. Sometimes it is very light. We don't have much in the bag, so it becomes very light. Light is what you say, halka. Okay. So, we see that for the same noun again, the bag, it can be a brown bag, a big bag, a heavy bag, a new bag, an old bag. There are so many words to describe the same noun, bag. Let's move to the next thing. Who is this? Yes, it's a knife. Now, it can be a shiny knife. It can be a new knife. It can be an old knife. Suppose it become old and brownish, you call it a rusty knife. So, and it is also a sharp knife. The word, suppose I ask, how is that knife? You will say it's new. Take care, it is sharp also. You say it is a sharp knife. Let's move on to something else. Wow, pretty, lovely, wonderful. Suppose they give a nice smell, fragrant. What you will say? Fragrant. For nice smelling flowers, you call fragrant flowers. They are also fresh flowers. Don't they look fresh and nice? Fresh flowers. So, here we have flowers. Here you can have many words to describe the flowers. Mmm, yummy. How many mouths are watering here? Sure, mine is watering. Cake. Yummy cake. Another word for yummy is delicious cake. What will you say? Delicious, tasty. Delicious means yummy, tasty. Yum. Delicious cake. Here's a table. Now, what words will you use to describe the table? It's a strong table. It's a brown table. It's a big table. It's a small table. It's an old table. It's also a hard table. It is hard. It is made of wood, so it is hard. It is a wooden table. Right? So many words to describe the table. So like this, when we use many words to describe a noun, it makes our language more interesting. Here we see mountains. Now, how do you describe the mountains? Icy mountains. If there is ice on top, you say icy mountains. Tall mountains. Blue mountains. High mountains. Right? Here's a book. What kind of a book is it? A good book. A small book. An interesting book. An old book. A new book. A lovely book. A boring book. If you don't like it, you say it's a boring book. So, again, many words for the same noun, for the same naming word, book, for the same thing. We've got so many different so many different describing words. This is a tree. How will you describe the tree? It's a big tree. It's a huge tree. It's a short tree. It's an old tree. It is also a shady tree. You will say it's a shady tree, tall shady tree. Now children, we have described places, people, animals and things for the same person, for the same place, for the same animal and for the same thing. We have used so many describing words. Like take the example of the book. You said it's a boring book, it's a good book, it's a funny book, it's an interesting book, it's an old book, it's a dirty book. So many words for that word book. For that man, a young man, an old man, a strong man, a friendly man, a smart man, a clever man. For the elephant, you said a huge elephant, a funny elephant, a friendly elephant, a playful elephant. So here we describe people, we describe animals, we describe things and places by using many different words. These describing words are called adjectives. Describing words, words that describe people, persons, animals, places and things are called describing words or adjectives. Adjectives tell us how a person, place, animal or thing looks: tall, short, smart, pretty, feels: hard, soft, smooth, cold, hot, feeling, behaves: kind, rude, happy, sad, angry, loving, smells: fresh, dirty, stale, tastes: how it tastes. It will be bitter, sweet, spicy, yummy. Words that tell us about the color. Color words are all describing words. Red, blue, green, yellow, orange, all are describing words. Number, all numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 62 to 79, all are describing words. Size, big, small, huge, all these are also describing words, etc. are adjectives because they are used to describe these color words or these number words or size words are all used to describe the noun, a person, place, animal and thing. It tells us a little more about the person, place, animal or thing. Suppose I ask you, how is the tree? You will say it's an old tree. I have an old tree in my garden. Or I have a small tree in my garden. I have a shady tree in my garden. So we use adjectives to make our language interesting. Suppose I say, my aunt is pretty. My aunt is loving. My aunt is kind. My aunt is clever. For the same person, I use so many describing words. It gives us more information about my aunt. Now suppose I tell about the school, your school. It's an old school. It's a good school. It's a popular school. It's a famous school. It's a nice school. So many words come to your mind. All these are describing words, and these describing words are used in language when we write a sentence to make our language more interesting. Now see here. Adjectives tell us about nouns. See this poster. Adjectives tell us about nouns. Now what do they tell? What size? Tall, short, big, small, tiny, huge size. How many? 1, 2, 3. All number words are adjectives. How a noun looks, how the stars bright, how is the sun blazing, how is the river blue, clear, how it looks clear, scary, how is the flower pretty, how is that mask scary. It also tells us how something smells. Smells fresh. Flowers smell fresh. See the garbage can. Stinky. Oh, stinky. Now look here. It tells us what color. All color words are adjectives. Red, blue, green, yellow. How something feels. Hot, cold, sharp, soft, smooth. All these are adjectives. How something sounds. Loud, soft. These are all adjectives. How something tastes. Juicy, sour, sweet. All these are also yummy, tasty, delicious. All these are adjectives. Then how someone behaves, how something behaves. Slow, nice, kind, loving. All these are also adjectives. Shape, all shape words. Round, circular. In that lesson, look before you leap, you had no circular well. Circular, triangular, rectangular. All these are also adjectives. Now all of you will take your books and draw this chart in your book. Thank you and have a nice day. I will be putting up the chart again, especially in the WhatsApp group, so you can have a clear view and draw it. And you will also do the exercise which is given in the group. Thank you and have a nice day.